I've got avocados, limes, and chips. Well, of course, I'm making guacamole. We love to eat guacamole as we sit outside our RV and enjoy the atmosphere and have a few drinks. It's a great snack to have. I'm going to show you a really amazing and delicious, quick and easy guacamole recipe. The first step is the avocado, the most important step, because without an avocado, you really don't have guacamole. You want to get a very, very ripe avocados. If they're not so ripe, your guacamole is not going to taste as good, and it's going to have a completely different texture. So try to find the ripest ones you can. And if you really have a hankering for guacamole and you cannot find ripe avocados, you can ripen them yourself. Just put them in a brown paper bag with a banana, and in about, I don't know, a day, you're going to have some ripe avocados. Don't let them go for too long because they're going to get over-ripened. Okay, so the first step is to slice these, and I'm going to put my glasses on. They are not safety glasses, but they're seeing glasses, which will mean safety for me. So I'm going to cut across longwise, start here, come around, and it'll break open. And then you can see we've got the two sides. Now, a lot of times the pit will come out easily like this one, or you can hit it with your knife and pull it out. I have seeds, and I've never done this. I think Rich said he did it when he was a kid in school. You can put this in with toothpicks and water or something and grow your own avocado plant. I don't know. You Google that, because when it comes to plants, I'm just no good. But just the idea for you. Okay, so now I'm going to get all of the meat out of the shells here. Pretty easy to do. Just take a spoon and slide it around the inside edge, the skin, and it should come out quite nicely. Avocados are in the bowl, so the next thing we're going to do is mash them. But before we do, I want to get some lime on here, because if you've made guacamole before or worked with avocados, you know that they will discolor quite quickly. So the lime helps to impede that process. So I'm getting my lime on now. And what I also like to do is get a little bit of olive oil on there, so I've got some, I guess, lubrication for the potato masher. Or really, it's an avocado/potato masher. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to mash these. And if you have pretty ripe avocados, it's not going to take very long. Okay, first I mash with the potato masher, and then I mash with a fork so I get an even finer avocado mash. The first thing I'm going to put in is some red onion. And the recipe, which is linked below or can be found at gfexplorers.com, is going to have a starting point. Your avocados may be bigger than my avocados, and a quarter cup of onions may be too much or too little. So I'm going to just kind of adjust and look at the ratios as I put it in, and that looks good. I've got some very finely chopped tomato, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'd say about a quarter cup, but you may want a few or a bit less. I've got some chopped cilantro. Same with that. Okay, I'm going to get all that in there. And garlic. Now, we like our guacamole very garlicky, so I'm going to put a fair amount of garlic in here. If you don't, put less than the recipe calls for, and if you do, put more. Now, the two spices I'm using is cumin and coriander. And it's going to be probably about a quarter teaspoon, but you may decide you want more, quarter to a half. And I like to sprinkle it in. That gives me a really good idea of how much I have in there. It's just I've made this so often, I just kind of know. And it's based on how big your avocados are. So every time you make guacamole, you're going to use a few less or more of the ingredients. Now, I haven't put salt in yet, and there's a very good reason, of which I will divulge as soon as I mix all this up. That looks really, really good. I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil to give it a little bit more lusciousness and creaminess to it. Yeah, that looks really good. So when it comes to the salt, I kind of have an idea how much I want to start with. And I would recommend this as well, just a little bit of a sprinkle. And the reason I'm not salting this yet is because guacamole, the salt level of guacamole really depends on the chip that you're serving it with. Now, some chips are very, very salty, and you may need so little salt in your guacamole that you barely put a pinch in. So I have a chip, I have guacamole, I'm going in, I'm going to try it, and this is also going to help me determine all the other seasoning levels. Okay, that needs some serious salt. These are not very salty chips. Because I'm going to add more salt in. And know that the salt is not here to make it salty. It's to bring the flavors up and to add a level of umami to this as well. Yeah, you're going to taste a little of the salt, but it's not going to be salt forward. Okay. Oh, that's almost there. Just a little bit more. Now I'm going to do a little bit more. Okay. It's really terrible that I got to sit here and eat guacamole and chips. It's just bad. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. That is perfect. But in tasting these delicious guacamole and chips, I realized that I want to add a little more cumin and a little more coriander. That's why it's so important to taste as you go, taste after you mix. Start off with small amounts of the ingredients because then you can always add. It's really hard to subtract, that's for sure. I'm also going to add a little more lime with a little bit more acid in here. Okay. Okay, going in for the final taste test. Oh, that is absolutely perfect. I can taste the onions and tomato, obviously the guacamole, the lime, the cilantro, all those flavors are present and they come together in one amazing flavor bomb on that chip. So go make some guacamole. It's really easy, it's really quick, and your friends and family will love you for it. Don't buy it in the store, it's just never that good. It's either too garlicky, too salty, too something. Make your own guacamole and have a guacamole and chip party. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. That really helps us out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We'd really appreciate it. And again, you can find this recipe linked in the description below or go to gfexplorers.com where you'll find this and so many other recipes. And until next time, happy eating.